Hey, what's up, you guys? Hope you're having a good weekend. I want to make a Sunday TA video for you, showing you what I'm looking for going ahead this week, levels I'm watching on Bitcoin and different altcoins, and what I would do if we get to these levels. Now, if you like this video and you want to see more TA videos like this in the future, make sure to like and comment down below that you want to see more like this. But you'll see going ahead, my style of trading is pretty simple. It's basic support and resistance, where if we then broke through this resistance here and reclaim the level as a support, I would long, and vice versa. Oops. And vice versa. If we broke through support here and then it turned it into resistance, I would then short. So my style of trading is simple, support and resistance, but the execution of how I do it is a little bit nuanced, which you'll see going ahead. Now, it is Sunday now. I like to look at the 3-day chart to start because the price action is very clean. But you'll see we have a little bit of a Sunday pump going on right now, which happens a lot, which usually gets reversed by New York open on Monday. So I'm usually pretty cautious of how Sunday charts play out. And I usually don't take decisive trade on a Sunday because it's probably going to get reverted by Monday morning. Now you can see here, this is actually a beautiful example of a trade I'm in right now on Bitcoin, where we broke through resistance. We've now come down, reclaimed the level, and it's taking off. And this is, the prime example of how I trade. Now, this huge candle here was the news of the war with Iran and Israel this past week. I think that news is mostly played out, and I think we are going to have a very bullish Q4. And so I think we are going to be going higher here, but I'm not discounting that we could go a little bit lower on Monday morning, and then towards the end of the week, we then pick up. If we look at the market structure here, we are starting to change. In my view, we have this low here, and then we have a bit of a higher low, and then we have actually a higher high on the 3-day chart. So now if this held like this, it would then make another higher low, and we'd be off to the races, making hopefully another, higher high. So this is pretty key right here. If we can then this week break above this level and then reclaim it and hold, then we're looking super bullish. If we can hold above $65,000 or $66,000, we're going to be very bullish and probably going to new all-time highs by November, December. Now, if we go to the 4-hour chart, which is what I usually trade on, you can see we have, very bullish candles here on Sunday, but we're coming into this next order block here, this next level of resistance, where I expect it to either, to come up here, retrace, maybe Monday morning comes down, it takes out all these stops below these levels. It could even take out the ones below this level as well. And then I'm expecting it to then reclaim and come back down. Now that's one option. If it's super bullish, then what might actually happen is we go to the New York Open, and by then it's actually consolidating above this level. If we break through this resistance and then it becomes support, then it's a lot more bullish, and we'll have to see what happens early in the week. But I think the probability is Sunday pump going into Monday morning. It's going to pump up here, then retrace, take out all these stops down below here, and then probably reclaim, and later in the week will go up. That's the more likely scenario in my head. Now, if we do come down here and we come down to this level, which was the impulse that brought us through resistance, if we come down here, I think it's going to be a lot less bullish and more bearish, because we'll probably then head down to these range lows at around 63, 64. I think that's less likely, but if that does happen, if we break through there, I wouldn't be longing anymore. So that's why I have my stop here right around 57.2-ish. So that's Bitcoin for the week. I'm thinking if we go into Monday morning and we've broken above here, then yeah, we're great. We can keep longing. If we've pumped up here and we're retracing and it's just holding at this level, then my long is still valid and we're good. But that's Bitcoin for the week. Now, Ethereum is a coin you trade if you really like pain and you don't like profit, because this thing has just traded terribly. If we compared it to Bitcoin is like up here on the chart, whereas Ethereum's way down here. Now, I will say on the high time frame, it's at a decent level. Ethereum's one that I'm not personally trading with futures because it's just so bleh. But I do believe there will be a point where Ethereum does outperform other altcoins. It has like these days where just like in a week, it'll do all of its gains, or 2 days, it'll do all of its gains for the year. So I think if we do get a sell-off that comes down here, anything buying around here on this 2,200 to 2,000 level, I think that's great for spot. If you want to buy spot Ethereum long term, I think that's a good area, because I think at some point this cycle it will come back down, or sorry, will come back up to around 4,000 and probably beyond. But trading this right now is just, it's not enjoyable. So I wouldn't do that. But I would put an alert here. I'd set an alert around 2200, 2200-ish. I'd set an alert if you want to buy some spot Ethereum and you don't have much yet. I think it's a great level for a 2x where you can get pretty big size on this bull run. Next is Solana, which I'm actually a lot more excited about and is trading much better. This is one where I actually bought a bunch more spot when it came down to this level here. This is what was it, 134ish. It came exactly down into this order block here I set, which is support. And this is a trade where Solana is the Ethereum of this cycle. It seems it's a lot faster, and it's a much better horse to trade. We've actually on the 3-day, you can see we came down. We have retested this level perfectly, and now we're going back up, and I think we're going to hit 171 in the coming week or two. I think Solana is a much faster horse, which is the one you want to bet on this cycle, in my opinion. And so I'm long Solana. I'm also have a lot more spot exposure of Solana, especially around this 134 level. Now, Solana is one where if we come down this week, I would hold the position if we came down here. But if we came down to around 124 and we're then holding down below this level, I think it's going to get a lot more ugly. Pretty much same thing as Bitcoin. It's going to get a lot uglier if it comes down and breaks under this support and just holds. But if we get a wick into it, which does happen a lot, you can see a lot with Solana. Look at these wicks. That's why I don't close positions too early. If we get a wick down here and then it comes back up, then I'll still hold the position. But if we're closing down below here, which we haven't really yet, then I would cut my positions. So Solana is one where if you want to send alerts and if you want to take this trade, I do think it's possible. Come Monday morning with New York Open, we could have a retrace of this level in which this trade will still be valid, and you could take a similar trade where you long around 134 to probably around 138 and target these next highs, which is resistance under this level. So 172, 171, 172-ish. Next is Sui. This is another one that's been big. Oh my God, look at this. This is one where I'm actually considering a short soon. Now, before we had this big level, which was resistance earlier at around $1.34 to $1.41. The reason I didn't short it back here was because it was the strongest asset. It still is one of the strongest, but usually you don't short the strongest assets. If there's an asset that you want to short, it's whatever is underperforming because it's most likely to keep underperforming. Sui is not one where you want to short just yet until it shows weakness, and it's starting to show a little bit of weakness. So one thing you'll see with my trading style going forward is that I like to trade when there is, here I'll show you. There's a difference in market structure of this, where it then consolidates, keeps going up. This is very bullish market structure. This is not as bullish. You can see the length in impulses above, and then the shallow consolidation is a lot more different than this. Now, this is usually when we get to a topping structure, which you're kind of starting to see here on Sui, and it starts to look like that classic Bart Simpson, where it's like this, and then it breaks down. So you can see here on Sui, we have this here, where it's break above, consolidate sideways, break up, consolidate sideways, break up, consolidate sideways. But now you're starting to see where every time it pumps up, it retraces immediately. Pumps up, retraces immediately. Same thing. And then you start to get these even shallower ones. Whoops. You get these even shallower ones where it's like every time it goes up, immediately sold off into, and it's just like very sharp rises. So someone is offloading a lot of Sui at these highs here. So the way I would play this, and the way I usually do play it, is I take a short once we have a huge leg down and then a lower high. So you can see that example right here, actually, where we had this huge pump up, usually the last little pump, and then it dumps hard and breaks market structure. So this is, the market structure break here, dumps hard, breaks it, and then we come up here and we come into this level of resistance right here, and we can't quite break it. So this is exactly where I would do a short. If we came up here, oops, not that one. This is exactly where I would do a short, where we have not able to get back up in here. We have now a lower high. I put my stop above this right here. It's a pretty big stop at around 10%. So you have to be, yeah, when you're shorting, you have to be a little bit more cautious and lower your size, maybe halfway. I like to usually have a 5 to 7% stop, but this one's a little bit wider. So then when you are targeting next levels, you usually want to target the level that the impulse started from. So I'll show you actually another example after this. It's a better example. But usually you want to target the level of when these kind of legs up started. I'll show you a better example. Drift is a short that I actually took, and it's much easier to show you because this one has fully played out. Now you can see the full Bart hairstyle here where it came down. This is the level which the impulse had started, and then it came back down here and hit it perfectly and actually broke even down more down below. So this is a more clean example where you have these sharp rise ups and it comes down and it just keeps doing the same thing. So it can't get above. And then every time it comes back up, it's sold off into. And this is exactly where you want to then do a short. Now it's a little bit hard to time it because who knows if it's, 5, 6, 7 impulses up. When you do finally get that lower high, it is a good time to start a short. Now this one worked out because you can see we had our stops above this level here. It came all the way down. But this one over here, you can see crypto and especially low cap altcoins, they're a little bit more predatory and they go a little bit higher and a little bit lower than you'd expect. So if you did this over here and you had your short here and your stop was above this, well, you can see it got ran and it didn't work out this time, even though it did come down ultimately to this level where it had originated. So this would have been a great short if you didn't have a hard stop. With my trading style, which you'll see over time, I have two different types of stops. One is a hard stop, which I set on the exchange. The other is a more discretionary stop if I'm there watching it. And that means I'll watch to see if the candle closes above that level. So if this is our area of stop and I'm actually sitting there watching it, I won't have the stop loss in place because I'll wait to see if this wick actually closes above it. Now, if this wick does close above and it starts going like this, then I'll close my short. But you can see a lot of times what happens in crypto is you have to be careful because these wicks purposely hunt your stops and they will take you out. So that's the example of this playing out. Now, Sui, it's Sunday afternoon and Sui is pumping. I can expect us to come maybe back up to this area of resistance here at 182-ish. And then we might do the same thing where we then come all the way back down to 142. Now, Sui is one of the strongest ones, so it's very possible that it won't come quite this deep. Maybe it comes down to this level at 152, 153. And you'll have to kind of watch the trade and see if it's starting to consolidate and then go back up then, in which case you can then close your short. But that's a position I'm looking for later today maybe. And what I'm looking for. Look at this. As we've been talking, it's already gone up like $200. So those are the levels I'm watching for this. It looks like a whole bunch of scribbles now. Those are the levels I'm watching for this week, and I'm expecting to play out. If you guys like this video, we'll do more in the future. We'll do more. We'll do multiple per week, and we'll share a lot more setups and trades for you guys, and maybe even get this going in the Discord. So if you did like it, make sure to like and comment down below. But other than that, I will see you guys later.